All right, here we are again. How you doing? As you can see, we're on this beautiful beach in Southern California. As I told you, I would bring you to these beautiful view spots, and here we are. No, but in all seriousness, trying out these virtual backgrounds. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know if you like the virtual background or you like the real backgrounds. I prefer the real background, but people like virtual backgrounds, so I hear. I don't know why, but let me know. So hopefully you just did that breath work, meditation on the beach. Um, People seem to really be liking the meditations, which I don't know why I'm surprised by, but I don't know. And just I guess you people are finding what they're looking for. So people are looking at the meditations, and people are more into breath work today than Um, I mean, it's really a kind of a newer thing in terms of the cycle that we're on, where, I never heard the words breath work or meditation growing up. But I mean, now, of course, I'm biased because that's what I'm into, but definitely more people are understanding that breath work and meditation is beneficial for their health, for their physical and for their mental well-being. And I actually just did one of my own meditations the other day. And of course, I know what I'm doing. I'm more trained, way more experienced than I assume most people watching. However, even if you're not, it's possible that you could have had a similar experience that I had. And it's possible that there are plenty of people who know what they're doing watching. And I had a really profound experience. I had um, a really great reset, and that is the reason that I do the breath work in the order that I do it in, and using those particular breath work tools, and then also getting into the mantra meditation and getting into the meditation, releasing the mantra, and it's allowing the body to really relax. And I actually had there were other things going on that were out of my control, and I was 100% locked in. It's definitely more powerful listening to your own voice. I mean, it's psychologically proven. That's why a good idea is to make a recording, whether it be with affirmations or whatever, just speaking to yourself positively, or telling yourself the discipline that you're going to enforce and the goals that you're moving towards, and then listening to it in headphones before you go to sleep or throughout your sleep or throughout the day or whatever. Those have been proven to be very beneficial. Stay with the breath work. Keep doing it. I mean, more and more people are doing it every week. So that's really awesome. Really appreciate it. And keep letting me know that you are finding it beneficial, because that helps me alter and really change the program. I've pretty much kept it pretty similar, with a couple different ways to kind of trick the mind into getting into a deeper meditation. So I got some more tricks and some different breathing techniques as well that I will unfold. But for right now, another thing that I wanted to talk about is, last time we talked about biomarkers, talked about things like phlegm, talked about things like foul breath, coughing, shortness of breath, congestion, things of that particular nature. Talked about constipation, talked about a lot of things that are signs that your body's not running optimally. And those things often have effect down the road. and they often manifest themselves in the present as poor mindset. And all those things are toxins, and they are symptoms of the habitual routine that you're running. That's what it's bringing you. And we've talked about a lot of alternatives and different ways to shock the system, reset the system. And if you think about it with technology, something that restores like 90% of the issues is simply turning the whatever technology it is off and turning it back on, right? We are a technology of sorts. We are electricity. And of course, that's why sleep is so tremendously powerful. That's why meditation is so tremendously powerful. It's a system reboot. But things that you can participate in resetting your autonomic nervous system, things like taking a cold shower, things like sauna, things like exercise, getting in the ocean, all those things shock the autonomic nervous system and allows that system reboot to perform at a higher, more optimal level. Well, a lot of it is based on how do you feel, especially first thing in the morning when you wake up. That's the time most people don't feel well. And that's exactly the opposite of what it should be. You should be waking up feeling amazing. You should be jumping out of bed with so much energy. You just slept for whatever it is, hopefully somewhere between 5 and 8, 9 hours. And if you had all that time just off, you should be waking up feeling great. And if you're not, then there's something that was going on that previous day and previous days and weeks and months and most likely years that is causing you to lack energy. And what do most people do is they go and get coffee right away. Coffee is useless in the first 90 minutes of the day. Literally useless. The receptors that would make coffee beneficial to you are not active. Therefore, it's just a waste. And is making all the coffees after that less useful, and it's just it's most likely added calories from the sugar that you're putting in the coffee. Most people aren't just drinking black coffee, and it's counterintuitive because so you're drinking the coffee for alleged energy, but really coffee doesn't give you energy. It just suppresses tiredness. And the sugar will then dull your electricity. So you're not getting the energy and you're also dulling your electricity with the sugar. So it's a miscalculation, and it's something that could very easily be either changed, or you can sub something else in for it. Abstinence is not really something that goes very well for people. So the main way to change a habit is to replace something. So maybe you replace it with tea, maybe you replace it with water, maybe you find something else that works for you better. I personally just abstain, and I don't even drink coffee every day. I've really cut off the caffeine and the sugar in my life, and I'm so much better for it. And I'm still working on improving and cutting out as much of it as possible, because then you don't feel I love not feeling tethered to anything. Like I have to do anything in order to feel good. And I also feel a lot more level-headed and clear throughout the day. My energy is more pure and clear throughout the day rather than feeling up and down. And also it's just looking outside of yourself to fix an internal problem. So that never works. And on that exact note, one thing I wanted to talk about is your the biomarker that is your skin. Right? Your skin is your largest organ. People don't know that your skin is an organ, but it is your largest organ. And your skin is your gastrointestinal tract flipped inside out, quite literally. Something called, I think it's called the skin digestive system axis. I think that's what it's called. But regardless, your skin can tell you a lot about how you are doing health wise. And like your skin should be glowing in some type of sense. And for everyone, that means something different based on skin complexion. However, you should see someone and see that their face is filled with life, or their skin is filled with life. And that's a good it's a good surface level way of understanding somebody's vibrance and vitality. And we all know that. We all judge people based on how they look all the time. And you can tell if someone looks vibrant or not very simply when someone doesn't look well, when someone looks ill, or even if they just had a poor night's sleep, you can tell that they look very pale and sickly. So it's obvious that connection from the internal to the external. And another thing that you can look at or look for are things like acne. And acne at different levels of your face means different things. And the reason we have things like that, like acne, psoriasis, what's that one called? Luckily, I don't know all the names because I don't have them. I forget what this one is called as eczema. Things like that are directly correlated to your gut health, believe it or not, as basically everything is correlated to your gut health. Your gut health seems to be just as important as your brain health or your heart health, really. I mean, because of the amount that it determines your brain and heart health, the amount that it determines your overall operating system and how well it's running. You have 3 pounds of gut bacteria in your what we call the microbiome or in your digestive tract. And anything, I mean, 3 pounds is something that is extremely important. There's over 500 different species of bacteria in your gut, and you want to keep them healthy. And in just 3 days, you can completely change your microbiome. So when you put in things that are inflammatory, things such as sugar, I mean, sugar really is the main culprit, especially in America. It's the main culprit. But fried foods is a big one also. Anything that you know is bad for you, right? Things like, ice cream, which we would say sugar is sugar. I mean, most of the modern day American diet for sure. The acronym for the American diet, the standard American diet, is SAD, and you can see why. So anything that is inflaming you is it's inflaming the skin on the inside, and it's going to show itself on the outside. So very simply, you can tell. I mean, you can always tell you ate something that wasn't good for you. You knew it before you ate it. You knew it when you were looking at it, and you knew it when you ordered it or whatever you made it. And you often know when it goes down into your stomach. You may have a stomach ache. You may not feel well. Like the stomach ache is the obvious one for, hey, you should not have eaten this, the obvious alarm. And then, you know, how it goes after that, you can tell like this wasn't for me. And even if something's not good, even if something could be considered good, that doesn't mean it's necessarily for you. That doesn't mean that your guts evolution throughout your life and the genetic hand that you've been dealt, it doesn't mean that just because a food is listed good or a superfood or whatever, that it sits right with you. Your digestive tract is unique. However, when people make these changes and you start eating whole organic foods, or you start fasting, or you start making any type of significant health change, you may find that you can't go back because your microbiome has changed. It's not the same microbiome that was eating Snickers and ice cream and fried foods, fast foods, whatever. It's now completely changed. And when you try and put that junk back into yourself, your body will reject it pretty harshly, very often, and make you feel sick. Now, you're not sick because you changed to these healthy foods. You're sick because you try to go back. And a lot of people confuse that and they say, oh, you can't make the change because if you do, then you can never go back. You can never go back to having a treat every once in a while. And the truth is, why would you want to? Your whole understanding of the the foul things that you're putting into your body will be changed once you start eating well. You will understand that it's not even worth it to have a cheat day. It's not even worth it to have a cheat meal because you don't feel well after. And that's a good thing. If you felt no one feels good eating garbage, but people can get very used to how they feel. So I would say you definitely want to leave that behind and move towards eating better, eating cleaner, and then you will feel better. And part of that is I have a physical therapist who I who is I'm basically an apprentice to, and he stopped, or he always eats at home. Him and his wife have two kids. They always are cooking at home, both of them. And one day a month for 3 consecutive months, he went out to eat. Pretty, healthy places, nothing crazy. He did not fast food. And each time he got food poisoning. And it was terrible. It was terrible for him in every way. If you ever had food poisoning or been sick from food, whatever, it's terrible. Being sick, feeling poorly, is just terrible. Um, and the further you move towards health, the further away you are from um, feeling those poorly symptoms. And it's interesting in talking to him, he's having a tough time, and he's a guy, he's a high mover, loves to be out, loves to be working out all day. And those things just destroyed him, really gave him definitely a more sedentary lifestyle, made him feel very sickly. And it's like the answer is you can't deviate. And that kind of scares people because they feel like, oh, I can't live my life. The thing is, you would, if you started feeling better, you would want to feel better all the time. And you would know it's like it's right or it's left. Either this is right for me or it's wrong for me. And your body will pretty much immediately tell you which one it was. And for the most part, it's just reaffirming what you already know. So yeah, I leave you with that understanding that the skin is the GI tract flipped inside out, can give you better understanding of your skin, and a better understanding of your microbiome and your overall health. So thank you very much for joining me. Really appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe, and talk to you soon.